Prince Harry has finally received what many supporters are calling long overdue good news from the UK. According to multiple insiders speaking to the Mail on Sunday, the Duke of Sussex is set to win his latest fight for publicly funded security when he is in Britain, with an official ruling expected in the coming weeks. Sources close to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle say the decision is effectively done. After a fresh risk assessment carried out for the Royal and VIP Executive Committee, Harry has reportedly been assured that armed security will be reinstated when he returns to the UK. One insider stated bluntly that it is now a formality, adding that sources at the Home Office have indicated security is nailed on for Harry. For years, Harry has been portrayed by large sections of the UK media as unreasonable or entitled for pushing this issue. Yet the very authorities who once denied his request now reportedly acknowledge that he does, in fact, meet the threshold for protection. Members of the Risk Management Board have decided that Harry qualifies for security based on the threat environment he faces. This is not about status, titles or royal pride. It is about real, documented risk. However, one insider added a telling caveat. The only thing that could scupper his approval now would be an intervention from the palace. That single sentence opens the door to deeper questions about power, influence, and the politics surrounding Harry's safety. When Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stepped down as senior working royals in early 2020, one immediate consequence was the removal of their publicly funded security in the UK. This decision came despite Harry being born into a unique security risk profile, one that does not simply disappear when someone changes roles. Harry is not a celebrity who became famous by choice. He is the son of a future king, the grandson of a reigning monarch, and a man whose mother was killed in a high-profile car crash following relentless media pursuit. His security risk is inseparable from that reality. Yet in 2020, the message from the UK establishment was clear. Step back and you step away from protection. For Harry, this was not a bureaucratic reshuffle. It was a fundamental safety issue for himself, Meghan, and eventually their children, Archie and Lilibet. The idea that a father would willingly put his children in harm's way to make a point is absurd, yet that is often how his fight has been framed. In May, Harry lost a bitter legal battle against the Home Office over whether he was entitled to protection after stepping down as a working royal. That ruling was widely reported as a definitive defeat. But legal defeat does not automatically equal moral or practical correctness. Courts rule on process, not always on wisdom. Harry did not walk away quietly. In September, he wrote directly to Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood requesting a review. This signalled that Harry was prepared to engage with the system, present evidence, and ask for a reassessment based on current realities rather than outdated assumptions. Then, in December 2025, the Home Office requested a new risk assessment into the threat posed to Harry while in Britain. Risk assessments are not ordered casually. They are time-consuming and grounded in intelligence and professional judgment. This development suggested something had shifted behind the scenes. According to the latest reports, that assessment has concluded Harry does indeed meet the criteria for protection. This quietly collapses the narrative pushed by those who have spent years insisting Harry was exaggerating or playing the victim. The role of the risk assessment body is not to soothe feelings, but to assess threat levels and recommend appropriate protection. If its board has decided Harry qualifies, the argument that he was being unreasonable becomes very hard to sustain. The situation also raises uncomfortable questions. What changed between May, when Harry lost his legal challenge, and now? Was it the accumulation of credible threats, heightened global instability, or a growing recognition that online harassment and extremist rhetoric have real-world consequences? The reference to possible palace intervention is deeply troubling. Decisions involving public safety and credible threats should not be subject to internal royal politics. Yet the fact that insiders raise this possibility speaks to a lingering perception that the palace retains informal influence over decisions that should be purely administrative and evidence-based. Harry is not fighting for security because he wants special treatment. He is fighting because he knows what happens when protection fails. The shadow of Princess Diana looms large. Harry has spoken openly about his fear of history repeating itself and about the trauma of losing his mother under circumstances involving aggressive media pursuit and security breakdowns. As a father, Harry's perspective has inevitably sharpened. Archie and Lilibet did not choose this life. Ensuring their safety when visiting the UK is not a luxury, it is a basic parental obligation. The world of 2026 is not the world of 2020. Public figures face increasingly sophisticated and volatile threats, amplified by social media, conspiracy cultures, and polarized discourse. Harry's profile, combined with his outspoken positions on mental health, media accountability, and institutional reform, makes him a lightning rod. The reported assurance that armed security will be reinstated is therefore a recognition of reality, not a concession to ego. Notably, this news is being handled quietly. There is no triumphant announcement, no gloating statement. The tone is cautious and subdued. That restraint suggests Harry's focus has never been on winning headlines, but on achieving a practical outcome that allows him to move more freely and safely in his home country. It also highlights the emotional toll of this fight. Years of litigation, public criticism, and strained family relationships have accompanied what should have been a straightforward safety issue. Questions remain. Will the palace intervene? Will there be last-minute delays? These questions persist because trust has been eroded. This story reframes Harry's relationship with the UK. Critics often claim he has abandoned Britain, but his insistence on resolving the security issue suggests the opposite. Harry wants to return safely. He wants his children to know their heritage and spend time in the UK without fear. If confirmed, this decision opens the door to more frequent visits, greater engagement, and perhaps, over time, a less adversarial dynamic. From the Home Office perspective, it may also reflect a desire to avoid future liability. Ignoring credible threats to a globally known individual with a documented history of risk would be indefensible if something went wrong. Too often, this issue has been reduced to tabloid caricatures. Spoiled prince versus hard-working taxpayers, disgruntled spare versus dutiful heir. Those frames generate clicks but obscure the human stakes. This development cuts through that noise and quietly affirms that Harry's concerns were grounded in reality, not grievance. Not everyone will accept that. Some will insist this is preferential treatment. But that argument ignores the unique nature of Harry's profile and the state's historical role in shaping it. Harry did not create his public identity. It was created for him from birth by the institution he was born into and the media ecosystem surrounding it. The suggestion that only palace intervention could now derail the approval is perhaps the most revealing detail of all. It hints at unresolved tensions and raises the question of whether personal dynamics are still influencing institutional decisions. As we wait for the official announcement in the coming weeks, one thing is already clear. This is a moment of validation for Prince Harry. Not a vindictive win, not a theatrical comeback, but a quiet confirmation that his fight was not in vain. After years of being told no, of being portrayed as difficult or demanding, the system appears to be acknowledging what Harry has said all along, that his safety, and the safety of his family, requires serious professional protection when he is in Britain. Whether this leads to thawed relations, more visits, or simply peace of mind remains to be seen. But for now, this is undeniably good news for Harry, for Meghan, and most importantly for Archie and Lilibet. And perhaps in time it will be seen as a moment when reason finally cut through rhetoric and security was treated not as a privilege to be granted or withdrawn, but as a responsibility grounded in reality.